hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. A woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to Woman Without Limits. I'm so delighted. My name is Reverend Kiuna, and today I am just over the moon. I don't even know what to say because I am hosting the greatest woman in my life. A woman that has brought 5 of us up in a magnificent way. It's Mother's Day, and what a better mother than my own mother. I want you to put your hands together and welcome Mrs. Karanja. My own mother, an amazing, amazing woman. And today we want to hear her journey and where she came from, how she grew up, and all those beautiful things about her mother. And then she's going to advise us on 2 or 3 things. I tell you, she's doing well and we love her. Mommy, I love you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
So today, Sarah, I will refer to you as Sarah.
Yes.
Could you please tell us when and where you were born and, you know, just your background?
My name is Sarah Mabui Karanja. I'm a born again Christian. I love the Lord as my personal savior. I was born in a place called Wangigi in Kabete location. My father was a farmer. Let me say he was a businessman because in those years he used even to have a machine for grading maize.
Wow.
Yeah.
In those years?
In those years.
Uh-huh.
And he had also a very good house, 3 floors. It was a stone one.
Hello. Hello.
So I grew up there, and when I became of age, I was taken to school from Saturday 1 up to Form 4.
Yeah.
And I did very well, and my parents were very happy with me.
Yes.
Because I was trying anyway. I passed very well.
Wow.
And I continued with school.
Yes.
Until when I finished, then I got employed.
Okay, so tell us, Mommy, in your early years, your father went to be with the Lord.
Yes.
When he was still a young man, and he was so, I mean, he had a lucrative business and he was doing well. And at that time, he even had that big house. So if people were looking up to him,
Yes.
and then suddenly something happened.
Yes.
Mommy, would you please tell us what happened and how he died?
He got sick, and because those days there was no bed medicine. My relatives tried to treat him at home, but he couldn't get well. After it wasn't the disease, they decided to take him to Kenyatta National Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Those days it was called King George Hospital.
Okay.
It used to belong to Europeans, and he was admitted there.
Right.
His condition still worsened, and it was discovered that he had a wound here.
Mm-hmm.
It was treated, but it never got cured. And eventually he went to be with the Lord, and I was left with my mom. I was the second born in the family of 5.
Right.
Yes.
Is it true, Mami, that at that time there was a lot of jealousy around you, around him, because of the way he was making it?
Yes.
As a young man, he already had so much money.
Yeah.
Until there was jealousy around.
Yes, there was jealousy around. And my grandfather, who was his father, had 5 wives.
Right.
So my mother, the mother of my father, was the second wife. And the third wife, no, the 5th wife, because he had 5, went to see my dad in hospital. We were told she took some food with the poison, and when my father ate that food, because it was during the day, after one day he died. He got sick, very sick, and he died. He started vomiting and diarrheaing. Then all of a sudden, people suspected there was something wrong in that food.
And when the doctors checked, they saw that there was poison in that food.
Yes, they did. And unfortunately, by that time, he was already gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you were still young, and then now your mother began to struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mommy, tell us about that, the struggle, you know.
I was still very young, and my mother was left alone because she was the one who used to bring food on the table for us. Because for me now and my elder brother, because I was the second born, so she really struggled a lot to make sure that we went to school. She was hawking some vegetables and Westlands, because
Do you mean she knew Westlands?
Yeah, she knew Westlands. She knew the Westlands those days, those
Wow.
years. She used to come hawking vegetables to our Hindis.
Yeah.
And she was very lucky because she had so many customers. And in fact, when the others were finishing selling at in the evening, she was finishing before noon.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. She just had fever.
Yeah, she just had favor from God, because she was also a very hard-working woman.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was left with her, struggling. She used to come hawking, and me, I just used to come from school.
Yeah.
And then from school, I used to go to fetch some water, so that I was waiting for her to bring some unga for ugali in the evening. I was only fetching some firewood to come and light in the evening when she comes. So it was very hard for me anyway.
Coming from a high place to now a low place.
Yeah.
You know, with a father. You told me that your father used to overfeed you with meat.
Yes.
That even the wife used to complain, it's inyamane too much.
He used to buy a lot of meat, by the way, and my mother was complaining. Yeah. She was saying, now this meat you are bringing every day, it is boring me. You better stop bringing now.
Yeah.
And imagine when we were told that what she was saying, we said sometimes we call them power of words. Some power of words sometimes are not very good, because when she complained about it being brought meat every time, my father could not live anymore. He got sick, and then...
And after that, the meat also went.
And after that, the meat was also went.
Right.
Fly. It went. I used to feed on vegetables. The ones when she used to buy a lot for selling and for us for feeding us in the evening.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mommy, like she would hawk and then come. She was called a very beautiful. What name did they used to use for her, because she was too beautiful? My grandmother, by the way, was beautiful beyond. They used to call her Mwaravu.
Yeah.
Mwaravu. She had this hair till God knows where.
Yeah.
And then she was almost white.
Yeah.
She was light. You know my Stephanie? You know my daughter Stephanie? She was lighter than Stephanie. Very light, like almost white. Yeah.
And Mwaravu meant an Arab.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she was very pretty.
Very light, and she was very, very smart.
Yeah.
Indeed. she used to go to the river to wash her feet
Yeah.
with a stone.
Like
She was scrolling them.
Nani, the one David Bathsheba.
Yeah. So people were calling her Mwarabu
Yeah.
because of her beauty.
Wow.
She was very, very beautiful.
And I think that's why her vegetables were finishing very quickly.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
because her skin was almost like the Wahindis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So one time she bought you, I remember, she bought you clothes and brought them, you know, with paper bags home.
Yes.
Then as she was opening the paper bag, tell us the crying after that when she discovered.
It was very unfortunate and very sad because when she came with those papers, something was wrapped with it. So when she came in the evening and we opened, there was nothing but only papers being folded together.
She was conned.
She was cheated. There were some good things inside. So when she came and unwrapped the papers, there was nothing.
And she was excited telling them how she's come with good tidings.
Yeah.
Only for them to open and find there was nothing. She was conned. Oh,
Yeah, she was conned.
God forgive those people.
Yeah.
Yes, Mommy. So growing up now became very tough.
Growing up became very tough.
Uh-huh.
And the time of Christmas when it came, I was demanding some new clothes from her. So I remember one time she went and bought me a material, a red material with some flowers, black flowers fixed with some other flowers, I cannot remember. But I put it in the water. Oh, it was completely red. The material faded and there was nothing.
Yeah.
I remember I cried. I cried so much because I was not expecting her to bring another material.
Yeah.
Because she had no money.
Yeah.
She was struggling to get even something to eat.
Oh.
So I was imagining how it went, and I remember that evening I really cried, and we started crying with her. Now telling me to consoling me, no. Not to cry anymore.
And she would
calling
call
me
you a boy.
Don't cry anymore. Next time next year I'll make sure I will buy a material which does not fade. And I forgave her, and the life continued. Yeah.
Okay. Was she a disciplinarian?
Yeah, she was.
Eh.
She was a very, very big disciplinarian.
Eh.
Yeah.
She would work on you?
She would work on me, even on very small things. And she even used to, like when she was making ugali and I happened to annoy her. She was even beating me with the moiko on the nose. Telling me, shut up. You know how I'm suffering for you to bring you up, and now you are bringing me problems. I want you to shut up and stop it there. Because she was imagining how she was struggling to make edge meat.
Right.
And me, I was demanding some things from her, and I knew that she could not afford.
Right.
Yes.
So she said, "Waboy kida."
Yeah.
And then she would work on you.
She would work on me.
Okay, but did that help you, Mommy?
Yeah, it helped me a lot because I would not have been who I am today if she didn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us after that. Now you finished school.
Yes.
And then?
After I finished school, I was employed in the Ministry of Home Affairs. I worked there, and from there I was transferred to Meru district. And where I was transferred there is where I met my better half, David. So, yeah.
Hey! Oh, you met Devi in Meru?
I met Devi in Meru.
Hey, okay. Right.
And once we met just like that, I fell in love with him because he was a very handsome guy. Very handsome with very sparkling eyes, and he was so good in a way. So we started coaching.
Yeah, and you were called, and you, meanwhile, you were being called Karedi.
Yes.
What does Karedi mean?
Karedi means a beautiful lady.
Her father named her Karedi.
Yeah.
So, you know, so she, my mom was...
Yeah. Because I was although I was not brown, but I was also very beautiful.
Mommy, even dark is very pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Yeah.
So
yes, Mommy.
We started with him, and after In fact, we coached for about 1 year.
You courted?
Yeah.
For about 1 year?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then after 1 year, we went to visit my home.
Yeah.
Because I wanted him to introduce him to my mom.
Right.
And my relatives. So when we asked for leave, because we had some days for leave, so he took his days and then I took mine. We took about 2 weeks. So when we went home and I introduced him, everybody liked him. Yes.
Your mom said yes.
My mom said he was
and
a
your
good
siblings,
man,
yeah.
and he was also very kind.
Yeah.
He was a very generous person.
Very nice man.
So from there we started, we became friends, of course.
Yeah.
And then after the leave finished, we went back to work.
Yes.
Then we worked there, and then after another 1 year,
Yeah.
he told me that he wanted to go home and tell my parents that he wanted us to get married.
Uh-huh.
So as our Kikuyu customary way, he went and then he was asked what to take. He took all what he wanted.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got married.
Right.
But before we got married, I insisted we go to his home also.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know his background, where he had come from, and what he had at home.
Right.
But before we got there, he was convincing me that he had a very beautiful stone house, stone built house. So I said, this one is a stone now, this years. I must go and see it.
There are not too many stone houses, yes.
When we went there was no house. There was not even a cubit for him. So
there was not even a cube?
No.
Oh, Devi.
No, there was nothing.
Eh.
So we talked, and he told me, now you know, when a man wants to win a woman,
yes,
he has to become to know to know how to convince.
Very wise man, yeah.
So I wanted you to tell you that so that you agree to marry me.
Yeah, yeah. You enter the box and then we pick it from there.
Yes.
Okay, so when you saw he didn't have?
So he didn't have, but because I loved him a lot, and I didn't wanted him to be my husband, I agreed. We arranged for the wedding, and then we arranged for the wedding. We got married. And then we came back to where we were working.
Yeah,
and,
in Meru.
In Meru.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in Meru we stayed for about 6 years.
Yes.
Yes.
And then by that time you were already pregnant with your first one.
By that time I was already pregnant with
this woman
here, Jane.
Yeah.
So I carried her for 9 months as usual.
Yeah.
And then I just persevered. But when I bore her, I spoiled her a lot. I didn't want her to cry. When I was going to the bathroom to take bath and then she cries, I was coming back to her naked. Because she was my first child, and I didn't want her to cry.
And you were so young yourself. She was 18.
I was 18.
Yeah. So obviously,
Yeah, I'm 18 and I have a child here.
Yeah.
So I really took care of her.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she grew like that, but after 6 months, she didn't cry anymore. She became a normal child.
Right.
Yeah. I think she was crying because she was still a very small child.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she wanted your attention.
Yes, she
of
wanted
course.
my attention
yeah.
also. The raising up of children was not very easy, because I remember before Jane was 1 year old, I got another pregnancy. So it's like I was rearing twins.
Yes.
And those days, life was very tough, because money was also a problem to get.
Yeah.
Because even if we were paid, we were being paid very little. There was no money those days. So I brought them together, and they were looking like they are twins. And after that, And by the time my husband, even those years, he used to employ a house girl for me. He didn't want
Give
me
it
to
up
get
for
tired.
Dave. Hey,
He didn't want to
that's
get
the
tired.
part to clap very well for Karanja. What? What?
Yeah.
He didn't want you to get
He
tired.
didn't want me to get tired after work. So we went to his place, Muranga, and came with the house help.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
in fact, all of you, my children, since you are born,
Yes.
even by the time you left home,
Yeah.
I never stayed even one day without a house help.
Yes, because we
Yeah.
remember that's how we were brought up.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
they were brought up.
So yeah.
And,
so I
even
came.
today-
I came number 3.
Yeah, she
Then-
came number 3.
Yes. Then my small sister after that.
Yeah.
And my small brother.
Yes.
You know, so we are 5 in the family.
They are 5 in the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mommy now he was. Daddy used to even help you cook.
Yes, he used to help me cook.
Please.
He used to he used to fry very well. In fact, and you remember those days, men were not allowed to go to the kitchen. Yeah. But him, he never minded.
Oh.
He said that we became one. Wow. Yeah.
My
so,
God. Oh, man.
Yeah.
What a man.
Yes.
What an amazing man.
He was.
Very, very nice. He was a good cook, by the way.
was a good
Very
cook.
good cook.
Yeah.
I learned from him.
Yes. He was a
Yes.
very good cook.
Yes, mommy.
Yeah.
So how was marriage? Tell us about marriage, ma'am.
Marriage from the beginning is not it's not a simple thing. It's not an easy thing.
Talk to us.
Because even when we were married, even to start with, after we stayed for about from 5 months upwards together, there were some issues. These issues are always there in the family. Even
Yes,
when
ma'am.
people are young.
Yes.
I could get annoyed for a very small issue. And then he used to, and when I got annoyed, I used to tell him, I'm leaving to go to my parents. I want to go to my mother because you have annoyed me. And I didn't know this is what a type of a person you are when I was getting married to you.
Yes.
So I have to go. Then he had to really talk to me nicely and tell me, you know, a human being is a human being, and if I have made a mistake, just forgive me.
Right.
Yeah, even there were many times I was tying my boxes that I was leaving. Eh?
Right.
Yeah, I gathered my clothes together and put them in the box. And I didn't mean it. I wanted to see how he was going to behave.
You are trying him
Yeah,
to
I
see
was
is
trying
this
to-
love deep enough.
To see how his love was strong to me.
Yeah.
So we talked about the issue, and then we came to a compromise, and life continued as usual.
Right.
But now, the best thing I would like to advise these daughters of mine is to persevere in marriage. There's no marriage which is good.
Which is perfect.
No, it is perfect.
Right.
No, 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 no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All marriages are the same, and we are all married by different kinds of men. Remember, this person is you met when you were grown up, and when he was a grown up, you are not born together.
Right.
You met, you fell in love, and you got married, and you became one person. So when you imagine you are not one person, you are two people who have met, and they have stayed, they have fallen in love, then they have decided to stay together. That means you have to really take care of each other and learn each other's characters. And you know, again, their characters are not the same. Some of them are very wild. They like beating. They like beating very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And when they get annoyed, they want to beat so that annoyance goes away. But I always pray for the marriages today because they are in attack. They are under attack.
Yes, ma'am.
Because like even when I meet my women friends, we talk about marriage. They tell us my friend, she had a daughter who got married, and She did not stay even for 6 months. She stayed for about 5 months and then she ran away because of being beaten. Yeah.
What, Mommy, what would you advise somebody that's being beaten? You were not beaten in your marriage.
I was not beaten in my marriage.
I know.
And
what would you advise a woman that's being beaten now? Is it right to stay with somebody who is beating you?
yes.
Is it right to stay?
It is not right to stay with a person who is beating you. You can maybe forgive him once or twice. But when he continues beating you without maybe a reason, it's good to leave him alone.
To look for help.
Yes.
That's what I advise. I advise if
help.
somebody is fighting you physically, because they would kill you. By the way, a lot of marriages that start in war, they end up dying. They end up killing you or destroying you or causing you to be like a living cabbage. So really, at the end of the day, that person needs help.
Yes.
If there is war in a marriage, physical war, that person needs help, and you need to separate to go and look for help. If he gets help, that's okay. If he doesn't get help, it's a wrap. Like, bye-bye. Because honestly, you cannot give yourself as a punching bag to be punched by a man. He'll kill you. Yeah. And at the end of the day, he'll destroy you.
Yes.
He'll destroy everything concerning your life. And it's not worth it. Because marriage, that's not what marriage is all about.
Yes.
Yes.
So, me, I would prefer if one meets such a person, because as I said earlier, this man, you are not born together.
Yeah.
You went and fell in love, and then you got married to him, and your life starts from there. So you go running about one another slowly. But unfortunately, if you meet a person who is a warrior, you don't just wait there to be killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better look for a counselor.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Then you listen to a counselor what he or she advises you. But after meeting a counselor, if he doesn't stop, I would advise someone to leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. To leave, maybe even look for a better husband.
Yeah.
Because there are many and they are there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, mommy.
Yeah.
So now, in the beginning, that's what you were saying, like when you are 5 months in the marriage, that's when you are still trying to get one another.
Yeah.
And that's why you would pack
Yes.
and Tisha him, I'm going,
Yes.
and all that because of small little things.
And I was not going anywhere. And
Yes.
I was telling him, the time when a time comes and I get the gray hair,
Yeah.
I will not be buried here.
Yes.
I'll go away with my gray hair.
You would tell him that.
Yeah, that is what we used to tell them.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, those days.
Yes, those days.
Okay. Okay, mommy.
Yeah.
So after how long now did you settle down and see he's such a good man and all that?
Let me tell you, that time there were 2 children.
Yes.
But when I got you as the 3rd child, I looked at my life, then I said, no.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. With the 3 children, where do I take them? Yeah. I cannot afford to feed the 3 children.
Yes.
So after that, now I decided to stay with him.
Yeah.
Even when a mistake occurred,
Yeah.
I just persevered.
Yeah.
And then after the 3rd child, the 4th one came.
Yes.
So that means you have to stay whether you like it or not. Because you cannot run away with the 4 children.
Yes.
Where are you taking them?
Where are you running?
Yes.
Yes.
And without their father. So we continued like that, and the love still went on being strong.
Growing and growing.
It was still growing and growing,
Right.
and we became so attached to one another.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helping him helping me to bring up the children.
Yes.
To check their homework after they have come from school.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he used to be very good at that.
He
also.
always did homework with us. Yeah. Yeah.
And then after that, I got the 5th child now.
Yes.
Now, so when I got the 5th child, I decided to stay now. And I never threatened him anymore that I was going to run away.
Yes.
Then I'm sure he was asking himself, what happened to this woman?
She never threatened.
She was always running away.
Yeah. Mommy, tell me, is
Yeah.
it something that women your age used to do?
Yes.
Like threaten?
Yeah, threaten, yeah. that was our way of threatening them.
Yes.
That we are going away.
To get them to understand that they must love you, to see whether they loved you deeply enough.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these days, I would advise them to persevere in everything, unless maybe one meets a very cruel person.
Like the beating we're
like
talking
the
about.
yeah. Talking about.
And emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse.
Yeah.
But other things which can be persevered for, it's good for someone to persevere.
Right.
You persevere because you don't know where your future is up to. Or if it is the children, you bring them up together, and by doing that, you never know who will be the president among those children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, mommy. Yes, mommy.
So it's good to persevere and always have a second thought.
Right.
Yes.
So don't just pack your things and go for small issues.
Yeah.
Stay and persevere,
Stay and
because you
persevere.
grow in love.
Yes.
You grow stronger together.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. So, mommy,
Yeah.
then now of course, we've grown up and everything as the children, and you are working. Tell us where you are working. Were you still working in Meru? Of course not.
No.
Yeah. You now moved to Nairobi.
I now moved to my Nairobi.
Yeah.
And I was employed by Nairobi City Council as a secretary when I left the Ministry of Home Affairs. And I worked in Nairobi, just here at City Hall. I was there for 15 years. And then after that, I decided to resign and go and start my business.
Okay, tell us now, the resigning, mommy.
Yeah.
You moved. Now this, your husband, now you have become inseparable. You are tight, you're close. And then I remember he told you he was going to buy land.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He told me, by that time we were still working, he told me he was going to buy land just here in Kiabu Road. Then I got so discouraged. I was not sure, because those days there were some people who were even conning. It's just like today. There were people who were conning people that there was land to be sold, but there was no land. Then he talked to me and told me, let's just try. If this money just gets lost, God is going to bless us with more. Let us try to see whether this land is true. We buy it, and if we don't get it, we just forget about the money until, because the money was not refundable then.
Yeah.
And then we asked God to bring us with to bless us with more properties. Then I agreed. In fact, I even went to the bank and got some money from there so that we could add to get that plot.
Yeah.
We paid it and stayed for 10 years, even without hearing about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took 10 years.
It took 10 years.
Wow.
Before we were allowed now to build.
Yeah.
And then one evening, I remember he came and he came home with a letter of allocation.
Yeah.
Written that the land we bought 10 years ago, it has now come out, and you are now going to be. It is going to be divided.
Yeah.
It is.
You are caught up with the story.
It is going to be divided among all the shareholders who had bought, and they were counting them in shares.
Yeah.
We had already 4 shares, because one plot was given 4 shares, and from there, because before we bought the land, we were still renting houses.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have our own. So from there, we did arrangements about building our own house. And I remember it took about 3 good years
to build the house.
To build the house.
Wow. So now, tell me, mommy,
Yeah.
because you said you were first like wondering, is he even... So when you realized that Dad was a visionary.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yes.
And you said, let's agree and let's do this together.
Yes.
Okay.
So when the matter of the house came out, we looked for money to build, and we built already we built the house, which is still there up to now.
Beautiful.
And you know, I keep it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the others who also won the land,
Yeah.
they were also given their places
Their
to build.
locations, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they built, and we started with a few people.
I remember, Mommy, first and foremost, in that neighborhood,
Yeah.
we only had two neighbors.
Yes.
One white
Yeah.
neighbor, you know, and another Indian.
Yes.
Just two.
Just two.
In the whole Kiambu, the whole of Tendego, there was nobody else.
Yes.
Just two people.
Yeah.
And the rest, we were surrounded by only coffee farm.
Yes.
So, yeah. So you saw the visionary in him, and you agreed, and you built and
Yeah.
all.
Yes, we built, and then himself, he had already resigned before me, and he went and started this business of keeping chicken. He was keeping chicken. He had so many of them, and he also had cows. He also had pigs. He was a visionary.
A
So,
total visionary.
Yes.
Until people would come from Germany
Yes.
to see his cows.
To see his cows.
He is the
how
one who was now
rearing
teaching
them.
the Germans.
Yeah.
Clap for my
So,
dad. Serious man. Serious man. Such a visionary.
Yes.
And he took you to Germany to actually go and train.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
He told me, he took me there to see, to go and see how they keep their cows.
Yes.
Because they are also very good farmers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came back, and they also came and learned and started to show you zero grazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in fact, we started. We had a very small place for putting the cows. We had about 40 cows in a very small place, and they were doing very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And then did chicken, and then he became a farmer.
And then he became a farmer.
Then you joined him
I joined him. We farmed
in
together.
business. Yeah.
And when my neighbor, one of the whites, wanted to sell his house and go to where he had come from, he called my husband and told him, "You'll be the first person, if you were interested, to get this house, because we are ready to sell it, and we decided to ask you first to give you the first priority, so that if you are interested, you can buy it. You can buy it for your wife." Then when my husband was told about, Kikuyu men with the land, they don't want to hear about land being sold somewhere.
Yeah.
So he went there to them and told them, "Don't tell anyone else.
I'm interested.
I'm interested."
Yeah.
So we looked for money, and after a year, we were able to buy that land, which is still there already now. It's of about 6 acres of land. So I added it to what I had.
Yeah.
Even now I'm having it.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. So tell us, Mommy. So now, then some years ago, 5 years ago, Daddy went to be with the Lord.
Yes.
So now you became a widow. Tell us, Mommy, how that worked. Because you were married for 50 years. 50 years. And the year he died, you were going to celebrate the 50th wedding anniversary. They were actually planning to do a wedding. Mommy, can you tell us about that, and how did that make you feel? Because we were already planning for the wedding,
Yeah.
for a 50th anniversary wedding.
So that was when we had already 49 years of marriage. We asked God in our prayers to help us to be able to celebrate the 50 years. And we started arranging about that. So after we talked about for about a year, then in the second year, when you are almost to make arrangements to do it, my husband got sick. And it is very interesting because he started losing weight. Then we didn't know why he was losing weight. We told him to go to the hospital to be checked. But when he went to be hospital, he was told he had a 4th stage cancer of lungs. So we got so shocked because he was a very healthy man. He never got sick. He was only getting cold, only no more flus. And then we were told he had a 4th stage cancer, and he was not going to live long.
A man who had never seen a doctor.
Yeah.
He had never gone to a doctor. He was always healthy. Very strong man.
Yes. So we all got shocked because we were not expecting such an healthy man to just get sick like that at once, and then he goes. When we were told that he had the fourth stage cancer, it was in a week's time. So I remember one night he got sick when he was not able to sleep. He had some pain in the body, but he was hiding it so much, he didn't want me to know. So I called my son and told him, I'm here with your father, he's having sleepless nights, and it seems like he's having some pains in the body because I can see the way he is reacting. He is even beating his thighs with his hands because of the pain. So my son came and we dressed him to take him to the hospital. And that time he walked in the car by himself. Nobody held him. But I remember when he went to the hospital, he was not even able to come from the car. He was brought a wheelchair to be taken to the ward with it. We went to Aga Khan Hospital. So when we went there, he was admitted. We took him like on a Tuesday, I remember very well. That was the year 2013. He was taken to the hospital, and he was the doctor who saw him said that he was very sick and he was going to be admitted. So he was admitted, and he was being given some medicine to bring the pain down. So the pain continues, and we used to go to the hospital early in the morning to see him, and we used to spend the whole day with him in the hospital with his pain. And then on Thursday, the whole day, the pain deteriorated so much, and we stayed with him on Thursday the whole day. Even in the evening, we left the hospital very late, and we went to see him again on Friday morning. So in fact, my first daughter is the one who got there first, and then we followed her. Then we found that he was not like the Thursday we left him. The disease was deteriorated so much, and he was still feeling weak, and when you looked at him, he was looking very weak, until there was a time he told his children, "You go to your work, leave me alone. Just go to your places of work and continue working."
He said, just help me turn,
Just help
and
me
then you
turn,
go and work.
Then you go and work. Continue with your work, just leave me. So we stayed with him until 1 o'clock. It's the time he was to be with the Lord. He was surrounding him on his bed.
He actually,
with the
we
children.
saw him. We
Yeah.
saw him go.
Yeah, we
Like
saw
we
him
were
go.
right there
Yeah.
when he went.
Yes.
And then, mommy, you fell, you fainted.
I fainted.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting that. So I fainted, and then I was lifted up,
Yeah.
and after a while I became strong again.
Yeah. A few years ago, my husband and I wrote a book on marriage works. So, why is it falling apart? There are so many amazing stories in this book that are really, really life transformational. These stories will totally change your way of thinking where marriage is concerned. We've been married now for 23 years. Best friends. It's been beautiful, and we believe God that it's going to continue being beautiful because we are anchored on Christ. He is the solid rock on which we stand. If you can get yourself a copy of this book, it's going to bless you. Many marriages have been healed by this book. Get it.